Doctors have to tighten up their prescriptions, and now you don't have any. You can't afford them. What do? You can take Kratom. It has the same effects, it's less addictive, and it's more gross. So that even brings down the use. You're not going to use it as much. Kratom kills the pain in your body. It also cures social anxiety.
The government's solution to stuff like this is always prohibition, which means putting more people in jail.
How big is your appetite for the war on drugs? I'm sure it's small. It's shrinking every single day. Don't let them continue it. Don't let them outlaw more stuff.
Good point.
Thank you.
Can you imagine being that sensitive? Like you,
well, that's
like
what
that
they're
is the
PC as
ultimate.
hell. Hey, you know what? This is the freest goddamn country, and it's so free that if you don't stand up, you aren't a free person. And goddamn it, boy, if you don't stand up right now, you ain't free. Because you have the freedom to do whatever you want. But I'm telling you, I have the freedom to make you feel bad for doing the freedom. Just get up and say you love it. Just get up right now, Copernic. God damn it. It's so free that you can't do it. You have to. It's free because there's only one way to be. That's why it's free. So be that. Damn you.
They don't have anything to live. I mean, their kids hate them. They don't have, all their money got stolen by banksters and shit. Healthcare's running through the fucking roof.
How many times have you gone into work and then looked at your boss and said, what are they doing? You ever think about the levels at a job, Brett? Of course, the people on the very bottom. What do?
Usually clean.
Yeah, and then there is the people just above them. They're the ones that do the second hardest job at the place, right?
Deal with customers?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And then there's another level above that, and that's the manager that's in the place. Now let's think about what comes after that, right? You might have a guy named like Glenn that comes to your office every 6 months, and you have to lay out the red carpet for Glenn. Think about what the person above Glenn does. Jerry is the person above Glenn, right?
Okay.
His job is basically going to lunch, right?
Yeah, powerful meetings, shaking hands real hard.
We're gonna go up to the CEO now. The people that sit around a table and who knows what they're doing? Nobody knows what they talk about.
Playing cards.
What connection does that person have to what you do and what the customer gets? It just seems like you could really chop like 5 or 6 levels off of any job and the company would still run perfectly.
Think about your job. Now imagine your manager isn't there. How much smoother would your day run?
I mean, how many of you work a job where you don't even know who the fucking CEO is of the company? That means they're absolutely useless. They're parasites.
They're on the top, getting most of the money, sending their kids to private school, driving the fanciest cars, and they can't make a sandwich. Every new level of hierarchy is more money coming out of your paycheck. Unions are fucking great because it's not HR.
You need solidarity with the other workers. We need to use that and exercise that. You and your other workers are the most important people at that company. I mean, hell, the way I think about it, maybe you don't get a union at all and you just take the whole company away from the bosses, and that's called a co-op.
For the almighty dollar, everyone's a slave. What's the point of doing shit if you ain't getting paid?
I mean, I tell you what, even the jobs that paid me nothing, like when I was first learning them, it was like, all right, I can do this. You just need somebody to get the plates and make them go from here to here. I can be the master of that. I was really into that, and I can do that. But after a while, it's like, you guys treat me like shit, and I get the plates from here to here every fucking time.
We ready?
Go. Is that coming through? It's not coming through.
Let me make sure.
It's fine.
I closed OBS for some reason. I thought I had
Let's
it.
do the stream. We're streaming. Who cares? Thanks for showing up to Street Fight Radio. Glad that you're here. A little bit of technical difficulty with the theme song there. What now? It's playing though. So is it playing still? I can't hear it.
Hey everybody, thanks for coming to Street Fight Radio. This is the Basement Show. We just went to wrestling. If you want to come hang with the gang at Elevator Tap Room here in Columbus, Ohio, we're on 4th Street. Watching AEW Dynamite and some NXT. We got 2 screens going. We got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 on the GameCube. There's a lot of fun shit going on. Good buddy of mine, Wavy, set up some video game tournaments before. So Wednesday nights, if you want to hang with the Street Fight crew and you're in Columbus, head over to Elevator. Brian and I will be there watching wrestling, as long as we're not on tour. And thank you, Elevator, for allowing us a spot to boo and yell and scream and cause a ruckus every Wednesday night while we watch wrestling live. For those of you that don't know who we are, my name is Brett Payne. My co-host here is Brian Quinby. We're Street Fight Radio, the #1 anarcho-comedy radio show in any station across the nation. We've been doing it now for like 8 or 9 years, working on getting everybody to change their wicked ways, working on creating a community of people that value workers and everybody that does work for a living, and taking all the money from those who don't. So if you're down with that and ready to party, we're trying to create something here that will start out as a radio show, but will eventually be a global, I'm sorry, that was a misnomer. What is I don't know how to, what's the alternative to global?
Planety.
Planety?
Yeah,
Will be a
planetal.
planety. Anyways, there's a big flat earth, and we're trying to get rid of all the hierarchy and start something new, and there's no firmament that's going to stop how high we can go, and we're glad that everybody shows up and supports what we do. If you want to do that, head over to patreon.com. We are going to be doing some live shows here in November. If you're on the West Coast, come see us in Portland, Seattle, the Bay, Smokeland, and LA, and San Diego to Che Cafe. Lots of people were excited to hear that we're going there. And I think I promised to kiss one of them on the lips on Twitter. So should be an exciting tour. We're going to be hanging out with we're going to bring the Minion Death Cult guys, Alexander and Tony, along with us. They're going to be doing their first live shows. So this is going to be great to get them out there on the road performing for people. They do such a wonderful job. One of my favorite shows to listen to. And then finally, I want to say thank you to Drew Toothpaste and Natalie D from Garbage University. They came to my Halloween party and brought me this beautiful bottle of Remy Martin 1738, the good shit, the kind of stuff that I like, and I appreciate it. So I'll be on their show soon, but check them out if you need more podcasts in your life. They do a great job.
I just finished Jake Starburst.
Okay.
I feel like a piece of shit. I'm taking from my workers.
Brian, well, Jake, we'll trade. You want some squid chips instead? We can give you
No, he
a
doesn't
bag
want.
of
Nobody
squid
wants
chips.
squid chips.
Do you want to try the squid chips?
Gross.
Okay, we've got Icy Jake in the studio. You can hear his newest album on all of your Spotify. If you look for Terrorist Threats, our sound guy, our audio engineer, Icy Jake, also a very talented rap artist, and his he's been doing this forever. His newest project is now on all streaming, and we'll get you more updates on what's going to happen with that soon. But totally recommend that you stop what you're doing someday this week and listen to that shit.
I mean, by the end of this show, Jake could end up on mic. Is all I'm saying.
It can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen here.
As long as, those squid chips might go wild.
You gonna make
Well, how
you
are
shit?
they? They're actually pretty good. He likes the squid chips. He recommends them. I gotta know.
You got to go to Japan and buy them,
I
though.
gotta
So
know.
you're probably not gonna get any.
Are they
and-
rings?
They're fishy.
Yeah, fuck. Fish. He said they're fishy.
Woo, they are fishy. It smells like it smells like a bag of fish sticks.
Oh, fuck that. All right.
Oh, so good. It's like the batter on a. It's like the batter on a calamari.
So-
Oh, that's tasty.
I'm gonna start the show. Well, first, let's congratulate the Washington Nationals on a World Series win.
Really?
No, I don't care. I just saw it, so I was like, hey, good for those guys.
Congratulations to Sam Knight and Sam Sachs from the District Sentinel. I hope they bet with their heart and not their head and made a lot of money tonight.
Lauren, my buddy Lauren LLW,
One of the
I can't
greatest.
even fucking remember the name, but she's great.
092 or something?
Yeah, or 900, I think is actually what it is. But the big story today, as we record this, and we'll probably still be going on tomorrow, is the GMG union, which I don't know what that stands for. I should probably look that up. Let me look that up too.
For what?
Deadspin.
Oh, yes.
It's a local of the WGA, so I don't know why it's called GMG because I don't know anything about it. Today, a number of our colleagues at Deadspin resigned from their positions. From the outset, CEO Jim Spanfeller has worked to undermine a successful site by curtailing its most well-read coverage because it makes him personally uncomfortable. This is not what journalism looks like, and it's not what editorial independence looks like. Stick to sports is and always has been a thinly veiled euphemism for don't speak truth to power.
Right.
In addition to being bad business, Spanfeller's actions are morally reprehensible. The GMG union stands with our current and former Deadspin colleagues and condemns Jim Spanfeller in the strongest possible terms. So Jim Spanfeller sounds like an enormous dick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'll be fine. But I am glad to see all of the folks that are like, well, I guess, I'm out too, right? Like they've all decided to walk out together.
I mean, like, I'm not a journalist. I don't know shit about being a journalist or doing sports, but like, stick to sports seems like a fairly insulting thing to say to somebody,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I can see that.
Like, if I was like a person who wrote about things, it's like, I can't write about sports every day. I know that people think that there's sports news every single day because ESPN is on every single day, but I'm here to tell you, none of that's news.
And it's bad business.
I mean, for them,
They're losing business because they want to do things old school and they don't understand what the world of media is right now. And that, like, you can have a specific, thing that, sports, but once you start expressing your other interests, that's how people become like hooked on you or your fans, like not to say I'm like engineering this too much, but like I like to do the stuff that we do, but we get a lot of richness out of saying other stuff that makes us happy or that we're into, I get to talk to people about bikes all the time. We don't do bike stuff on this show hardly ever.
Right. Yeah.
But there's a lot of bike people that listen to the show because of it, like it sucks because this is the classic case of like a guy in a suit smoking a cigar that's just saying you cost me money and I don't like your attitude.
Right. And like one of the things about it is that like from my understanding, it is a very successful site and some of the biggest page hits go to their more political stories.
Right.
I don't know anything about Deadspin. I've probably read like 5 articles there, but they all seemed good to me. And I hate to see people lose their fucking jobs and like walk out of a job. But this is like just another case of venture capitalists coming in, buying a thing, and then fucking dismantling everything that's great about it. You know what I mean? Like, people want to hear your, like, I can't express enough how much I've always wanted to hear my favorite writers and television personalities and radio my favorite bands. Like, I want to hear, like, their opinions on stuff. I've always wanted to hear their opinion. I've always paid very close attention to what people who are influential to me are saying, whether it's about the thing they're supposed to be doing. Like if Korn's talking about fucking the Federal Reserve, I'm interested to fucking hear it, even though Korn is a band that doesn't sing about politics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I hate the idea of like clamping down on like things that people have shown interest in and like narrowing what you're allowed to talk about. And again, it just seems very insulting to me for a site that was getting a lot of traffic and that was like actually profitable to then have some fucking guy, because he had a shitload of money, say, hey, stick to sports because everything you do makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, and it's like as soon as you start making decisions with your opinions about how you feel about it, like, you're losing. You need to pay attention to what gets results. And there's plenty of all sports all the time places to go to, and this was an arena that offered some very different things. Did Kevin Brown write for them for
Kevin
wrestling?
didn't. Bixenspan did.
Bixenspan.
David Bixenspan, who hates us, but hey, I don't want him to lose a job. He's he's not a sweet guy. He's an asshole. I have actually been known to have called him a dick and an asshole. But
A dasshole.
Yeah, on the Bad Wrestling podcast, I actually said Bix is a dick and an asshole or something because I mean he was mean to me personally.
Yeah.
it doesn't have anything to do with what he does. He was writing very thought-provoking stuff, I think, for Deadspin, and he was bringing to light a number of issues related to professional wrestling that people, like somebody like me or Brett might or me and my wrestling chats even are talking about, but it's not like mainstream news like the Saudi Arabia stuff, you know?
Yes.
That's not like on the mainstream news, you know what I mean? But like I talked to Brett about it, I talked to other people, and like it is something that people are interested in, you know?
Oh, was the crown jewel today?
Tomorrow.
It's
at
tomorrow.
noon.
Okay.
Oh, okay, like not at noon, okay? It's not on at any time. Don't see it, is what I'm saying.
Well, I wanted to mention, I don't know if it's too late, but there are people in the stream here. I don't know. They must have sent it on my personal account. But Smart Marks, they are a subreddit. That's for like leftist wrestling fans. Tomorrow during the Crown Jewel, they are going to do a live stream with David Starr, who is trying to set up a union for wrestlers.
I believe it's an AMA. On
AMA,
Reddit.
but it's going to be a live stream, they said.
Okay, well that's great. I'm gonna try to get in there. If like I explained to
Or
them
maybe
when
it wasn't AMA, I don't know.
I explained to David Starr's involved,
I know David Starr.
but I thought it was an AMA. I explained that I would try to get in there, but I also don't wake up like right at noon.
Yeah, that's
all
more
the
of a,
time.
this might be more of a me.
It's more of a
thing, if you wanna
BP than a
see
BQ.
me in there, let me see what he says here.
BQ sleeps very late. He's lazy, is what he is.
Yeah, it is just an AMA. So yeah, I'll head over there and try to see what I can do.
And I don't have a Reddit account. I don't know if you can like do that stuff anonymously, but I don't have an account because I don't look at it ever. I don't
Right.
know anything about it.
Right.
So here is like some of the stuff. Earlier this year, Deadspin, along with its sister sites at the former Gizmodo Media Group, or Gizmodo, I don't know. I don't want to say Giz, just willy-nilly, even though I say it all the time, were acquired by the private equity firm Great Hill Partners. The company was rebranded as GO Media, while the two old white men from outside the company, Jim Spanfeller and Paul Maidment, were respectively hired as CEO and editorial director. Almost immediately, the two began warping what had been a successful media company on its own image into its own image. They fired top editors, asked sites to be friendlier to advertisers, closed its politics-only site on the eve of an election year, gave jobs to their cronies, installed intrusive new advertisements, and more, while showing no curiosity in enabling its employees to do good work. So, I mean, and the thing is, every site has intrusive ads, but they fucking definitely make people go away. There is nothing worse than opening something and an ad like getting in the way of what you're trying to do. I don't even know what the strategy is with those, other than like we'll make money, but we'll piss every single person off that comes to this site.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a matter of awareness. Like, they just believe that people will see it and eventually just break down and be like, all right, I want it.
Yeah.
All right, I want a new Cadillac CTS. I'm gonna go sign the papers.
Yeah.
No, it is. It's just not. It's not the media landscape that we're in. It's bad business. It doesn't make any sense. It's just not where things are going at all. They're gonna lose out.
Jesus, you want to hear what GO Media owns?
Yeah,
Give you that. Deadspin, Gizmodo, The Root, Jezebel, Gizmodo again. This person put it in there twice. Kotaku, The Onion, The AV Club, Clickhole, The Takeout, Jalopnik, and Lifehacker.
I was worried because I thought that Kotaku was going down too. There was like a weird tweet that someone made, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's one of my favorite game sites."
I mean, Kotaku is gonna have problems.
Sure.
I think. I think that if you're owned by these guys, there can be problems. I think no matter what. I think that media to them is a product that they're selling, and for us, I mean, even for the readers, it's like people that read this stuff want something interesting. That I don't think that like people always box themselves into these little corners. You know, sometimes I'll listen to a wrestling podcast and they'll start talking about something else and they'll be like, people want us to just stick to wrestling, so we'll move on. And it's just like, nah, man. People want to hear what you're saying, you know? People want to see what the writers are writing. That's what they want. So, solidarity with them.
It's kind of, you know what it's kind of like? It's like my opinion on tattoos. Like when you go in and you tell them I want exactly this, and like I'm paying you to put just a sticker on my body that I pick. Versus like when I go in there, I'm like what sounds cool to you? Like what would make you excited? Like you want, as a creator, if you're in charge of creators, which I am actually at this point, like you want them to be able to go off. You want them to be completely free to do what they want, because attracting attention and getting people to pay attention to your writing is not fucking easy. But I think that what this comes down to at the end of the day is business people have always considered the arts to be like a talent that people are born with, and they don't understand how much time and consideration and behind the scenes stuff that goes into creation of things like that. So they're always going to devalue it, and the rest of the world devalues it anyway, so they can get away with it.
Yeah, like everybody devalues it.
Yeah.
Like anybody who does it has to deal with 50 fucking assholes saying that they don't deserve what they have. And it is like, that's like the hazard of the job. Like the job kicks ass, but there's parts of the job that suck, and part of the job is people saying you don't deserve what you have, and you know, all this stuff, you know, and it sucks, and it shouldn't be part of the job. And people should just understand that, like, if you got there, if you somehow got there, you might have deserved it.
Yeah.
So, the next thing I'm going to talk about is very disappointing, but also
great.
I want to have the conversation with Brett, so I'm going to do it. Hannibal Buress. You heard this? You heard about this guy? Have you heard this?
Yeah.
This is my YKS impression. Was it good? You heard about this? You heard about Dave? Hannibal Buress, it's odd for me because, like, I think that, like, he's sort of... Okay, so let me explain to listeners. He is against rent control, and he doesn't like Bernie Sanders, and he's pretty much just a liberal rich guy at this point. I don't even know if he's rich. I can't say a guy's rich. I just figure he's been on TV enough that
Sure.
he's
I mean,
made enough
he's
money.
doing well.
And he's buying and selling real estate, you know?
Right.
He's like a landlord, so I figure he's got something, you know?
Yeah.
And, I mean, what he did with Bill Cosby was important, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh man, I don't know if I can be. I don't know. I mean, I've actually loved him for a really long time. I heard him on a podcast, a racist ass podcast I used to listen to like 12 or 13 years ago out of Chicago, and he was a guest sometimes on there, and I've kept track of him ever since. It's really challenging, I think, because I almost have a similar inclination where I know the textbook things you're supposed to do when you get money, you know, which is like properties,
Get properties, you can get stocks and shit, and you know.
So it can be really challenging to like say like, oh, you shouldn't have that, when he's worked pretty hard to get where he's at, you know, like to like, you know, to tell a black man like you can't be successful now because of, you know, whatever it is like a challenging road to hoe, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And like, even, I'm not even like, for me, like, I think about it even like in our terms where I've heard people, you know, where people have said that like, we don't deserve what we have. And the way that I feel about that is just like, well, I mean, we both like worked a really long time in like the workforce, like very working class lifestyles. And for me, it sort of feels like there are a lot of people who think that like we should have just stayed in our place.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like we should just still be doing that. And if we want to do a podcast, we can do it as a hobby.
Right.
You know? And like, to me, I'm like, fuck you, because I never met a person who works a real job, that works hard and breaks their back, that didn't want to get to the point where they didn't have to work hard and break their back anymore.
Right.
Literally all of us feel that way. Every single person that's ever worked a real job feels that way.
Right.
And, you know, a few people, and like the way I think about it is like Hannibal Buress deserves what I don't like to say deserves what he has, because I don't know what he has, and I know he's a landlord, and that's an annoying job to have.
Yeah.
And it's like really inconvenient for me. defending him, you know? And I'm not going to defend him. Like,
Yeah,
I think
no.
it's shit. I think,
He's
like,
being an
being
asshole.
against rent control is a fucking, like, fuck you,
Yeah.
dude. You're, like, not, you don't even get to, like, be like, I have progressive politics in my mind, but I want to gouge people for fucking rent.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
We need as much rent control as we can possibly get. People are getting fucked constantly because there's not rent control laws everywhere.
Well, yeah, and I talked to, it hasn't been out yet, but I talked to Kenzo Shibata today about the CTU strike, and that'll be coming to the main feed in the next couple of days. But he said that rent control was so important because teachers can't live where they're at anymore. You know, like they're spending a bunch of time traveling into the city because there's no way that they could afford to live in Chicago. you know?
Right. Yeah. And what is, I mean, has he gotten to a point, has Hannibal Buress gotten to a point where he thinks like, well, the only people that get to live in Chicago are people who deserve it and work really hard.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You hit that threshold. It is like, it's tempting. I mean, it's really tempting as like, as a narcissistic tendencies. There is times where I just want to be like, I'm doing this all myself. Like I'm alpha. I'm better than everybody, and I get what I get, and you don't because you're not special. And it's so easy. Like
and
to
it makes
slide right
you-
in because you don't have to. It's not challenging to do that, right? Like once you have all the money, it's not challenging. Just be like, hey, I'm the winner. You're the loser. Suck it up. You know, it's hard to be like, well, you know, I have a lot going on for me, and I'm taken care of. Why not other people? you
Yeah,
know?
for me it feels like I'm not up like to a extremely high income level or anything. I'll tell you, I have $44 in the bank right now. But
Man, you wasted all of it though.
well, I didn't waste all of it. Some of it went to groceries and Halloween costumes
Sure.
and shit. But I did waste like $250 this
Sure.
week because I had to buy clothes before I go on the road. But I could have probably waited till I got paid, which will probably be more because we made a lot more money this month. But I didn't wait because I'm a fucking idiot. Like I've been so dumb. Like part of our set on stage lately has been like only an idiot pays their bills as soon as they come in. And every month now I pay too many bills. And then it's like I could have pushed that fucking bill off.
Yeah.
I didn't have to pay it. I have months to pay that bill. I didn't have to pay that bill right then. But for some reason now I have more money coming into my house. It's like, nah, I got to pay it right now. You pay that bill. Okay. But anyway,
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, Waves was like disappointing for me too because I love that fucking band from way back, from the very
I like
beginning.
Waves too. Yeah.
And you know, it's like it is sold as like the standard path to success, but if you're a thinking person, like you have to pivot out of pivot out of what they say you should do.
Yeah, like what financial advisors
Yeah.
and shit are telling you.
There-
It's like, I don't know, man. I don't like landlords. You know, is
There's-
there another way I can make money? And it really, like, there is an amount of money that would make me happy where I wouldn't have to have properties.
Right.
You know, like $1 million would make me very happy. I don't think I need $1 million a year. You know, I think I'd be fine on $60,000 a year. I would be very happy to have 60 grand a year. If I was making that kind of money, or 100 grand a year is great. Like that, 100 grand a year sounds like I'm living in the lap of luxury because I have an apartment that I like. You know what I mean? It's $1,000 a month, which is not bad rent. And like my bills are relatively low and I'm happy. Like I'm happy with all of that. I just want to be comfortable. I said this to Brett before we recorded. My dream job was cable guy before it was radio guy. Or did I say it at the beginning of the show? I don't know if I've said it already on the show, so I apologize.
I've said it before, I think.
But yeah, my dream job was cable guy before my dream job was radio guy. But my dream job was always radio guy, you know? But I just always wanted more money than the stuff that comes in, you know?
Yeah.
Like I've always wanted to just have like, I say this is the number. This is the prime number for me. $1,000 more than what comes into the house
Yeah.
a month would be fantastic for me.
Sure.
You know, and that's all I'm looking for, and I don't need more. And like I don't need to make investments, and I don't need to do all that stuff because I know it's all bad. You know.
Well, at the end of the day, it does nothing to change what's going on in your head or your
Exactly.
personal reality.
Oh no, I know. I mean, Dream Scene's coming out soon, and I wrote about it, and it's like I talked about like how like it's a 20-year or 22-year basically climb to get to where I am now, doing what I want to do and making more than I did as a cable guy. And it was like, the last time I was as depressed as I am now was when I was about to go to rehab for painkiller withdrawals.
Right.
Like I've been on the edge of tears a lot lately, which that's what sent me to rehab, was that I was spending a lot of time on the edge of tears. And it's like, it doesn't have anything to do with like not being great. Part of it has to do with like, oh, you feel bad, yet you have what you want, but that must make you ungrateful. But I just think like I would love to see these. I would love to see every artist get rich, but I would love them to like stick to the principles that they had probably before they started to hit like the very high income bracket.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
that would be great.
Yeah. I mean, and this is, like we were saying at the beginning, this is an industry where there are people that are making $1 million, but then most of your entertainers are making $1,000 a year from it, you know? Like,
Yep.
there's not a lot of in between. And so we've all accepted the crabs in the bucket things, you know, so that way when you make it to the top, you can just take advantage of everybody.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, it's like the only reason I like would like to make it to the top to like bring in a ton of money here is to make more artists. You know what I mean? Like it's sort of like I want a thing that like keeps rolling into making more people who get to live doing their thing. Like I want Jake to be able to live doing the audio stuff for us because that's what he likes to do. I want like, you know, Katie likes doing. Listen, I know this sounds crazy, but I've been married to her for 20 years. Katie loves making lists and sending emails. And that's two things that she absolutely loves to do. And I want to facilitate her making lists and sending emails for a living.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure out how to fucking traverse healthcare when that happens.
I know. Well, we'll get the healthcare. Well, I think Bernie's going to win, guys. You know,
Okay.
and then he's going to get the healthcare. That's what's going to happen. That's my plan. Let's do a news story. A dangerous and deadly drug is popping up disguised to look like marijuana.
Oh, I love this
Brett
one.
Payne.
Yes.
KUTV obtained an internal law enforcement bulletin describing the trend. The trend. This can't have happened once. I can't imagine it.
Well,
The bulletin warned law enforcement agencies across the country to be aware of the potential dangers. I think a lot of death could come from this. I think a lot of people stepping into the realm of overdose unexpectedly, recovering addict Chris Rufflin said of the photos. The bulletin states the substance tested positive for fentanyl, heroin, tramadol, and traces of meth. I think a lot of teenagers, I think a lot of the younger generation is going to end up getting a hold of that, which is not fucking going to happen.
So just to kind of clarify what's going on here, the news is reporting about the police doing an internal bulletin about something that they made up.
Yes,
This is
It's something
nothing-
that they thought of because
They've never found this, but they thought up that someone. What the picture was like, it looked like some green like buds. It kind of looked a little bit like caviar, where they take the weed and then they roll it in oil and then they put keef. So it was like they had probably like an ounce of green looking buds that they were claiming were fentanyl and heroin.
Yeah, that it does just say that. I'm actually I'm doing a quick like search here on Google News for fentanyl.
And the thing about it is that like weed sells itself and there's a pretty good markup on it. The prices have gone down a lot and you can still get 50 and 8th out of people. So that's doing well. To take like a whole bunch of fentanyl and heroin and sell it for weed prices, that's bad business. That's bad business. Yeah. I mean, if you told somebody that you had, you know, the Fenty pack they might be interested in paying extra money for that.
Yeah,
Like
that's true. I would have probably gone for that. Like, ooh, fentanyl, huh? You're talking
a little
okay.
sprinkle of fentanyl.
You know,
in
if people know how they're dosing it, then it's not going to kill them. The police just have this thing in their mind that a speck of fentanyl dust is going to fucking
there.
kill them.
You can hold it, you can touch it, you know, you can even hail some of the dust and it's not going to fucking kill you.
Okay, so I looked at Google News, and, you know, they're really going to run a report if there's fentanyl-laced weed. Every single one of these things says police warn
They made it up.
people. And then the top news story is are dealers circulating fentanyl disguised as marijuana? The short answer is no.
The short answer is no, but the long answer is that the police are afraid of it, so we're going to report on it.
Can I just say also, like, smuggling your fentanyl in something that's also illegal and smells seems like a really bad strategy. That's just me. I know
Yeah.
we have this thing in our mind that drug dealers are devious, but they're both devious and also stupid. But like, you when you smuggle drugs somewhere, the hardest drug to smuggle is marijuana by far, because it smells. You need a lot of it, and it just people find it. It's easy to fucking find if somebody's looking. Now, an easy drug to smuggle is fentanyl because it's small, it's compact, it doesn't have a smell, and it's usually in a bag somehow, and you can hide it, right? And you just need a little bit of it. And why would you hide your fentanyl and marijuana to get it here? Like, what are they? Are these like smugglers being like, it's getting too easy to get the fentanyl over here. I got to make it hard for myself.
Right.
And weed dealers don't. Of all the drug dealers, weed dealers do not want to kill their customers. None of them want to kill their customers.
Right.
That's not a thing that exists. There isn't like a devious drug dealer like rubbing his hands together and saying like, I can't wait to kill all these people with fentanyl. It's exciting for me. This is great. You know, like all of the overdoses are an accident. And maybe it's an accident on the dealer side or it's an accident on the user side, but it's an accident.
Yeah. You know what? Like, I think I've mentioned this before, but I did talk to like a professional level drug dealer, and their hypothesis was just cross contamination. Like people are weighing fentanyl on a scale and not like wiping it off. And
Probably,
weighing
yeah.
something else. This is also happens. They've also been reporting about cocaine having a lot of fentanyl in it. Have you heard that too?
I have heard that.
And
yes.
there was some deaths that happened a few weeks ago. But I found this article from a website I don't want to give any traffic to that did some investigation on it. And they found that of all the cocaine seized in New York City, just 1% had traces of opioids in it. And you have to remember also that like the people they're busting are the low end drug users. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So the people that are dying from this are the ones that are like doing it in the park. You know, they're going after poor people, marginalized people to get these numbers. You know,
Right.
And then treating it like it's a fucking epidemic, but it's not. You know.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm actually. It's funny. Here's another one the police made up. This came out on October 10th. It's the day before Halloween as we record this. I think it'll come out on Halloween. Police in Pennsylvania urged parents to double check their children's Halloween candy this year after a drug bust turned up a THC version of a popular candy. The Johnstown Police Department arrested a 27-year-old man Wednesday who turned a rented storage unit into a mini warehouse for distributing pounds of marijuana along with other drugs like meth, heroin, and fentanyl. During the drug bust, police say they found a stockpile of what looked at first glance to be the popular Nerds Ropes candy.
Fuck, they make weed nerd robes.
Listen, Brent, it gets so much better. Upon further inspection, police determined the candies contained 400 milligrams of THC.
That's a movie marathon amount.
That's the craziest amount of THC that I've ever heard of in an edible.
That's like a backpacking weekend.
Yeah, I had a 500 milligram like little candy bar at one point, and boy, you got to really cut those
As soon as we got
into
to
small levels, you know.
when we got to LA, I bought a 300 milligram cupcake, and it was just like every time we went back to the hotel room, I just like took a bite of it.
Yeah. A 400 milligram edible, but the police think that somebody's gonna go buy a ton of 400 milligram edibles
it's-
and put them in trick or treat bags.
I mean, I bet that thing would have to be $40 to $60, like retail.
Oh my God!
or
Yeah,
more.
there's no way. Oh God, that might be an $80 little gimmick there because that's 400 milligrams. You know,
It's a ton of fucking weed.
during this Halloween, we urge parents to be ever vigilant in checking their children's candy before allowing them to consume those treats. Drug-laced edibles are packaged like regular candy and may hard to be distinguished from the real candy.
Can I tell you a funny story I heard on another podcast?
Yeah.
I was listening to the Antifada today. They had Minion Death Cult on there, and Andy, their like audio producer guy, said that he one time bought like a weed lollipop, and he had it in his pocket, and it fell out. And when he went back, there was a parade happening, and they were just throwing candy all over the street.
Oh no.
So
Well, that's an accident,
Yeah,
though.
he has to assume that hopefully, some adult picked their kid's bag, but that might be the only instance of someone getting weed to a kid. It's on accident. It's not on purpose.
Yeah.
That would be the first time I spanked my kid is if they got into my weed candy.
Stay away from the edibles, kids. You're not ready for them. You're never going to be ready for the edibles, okay?
But they've done this now for several years. I don't know why. They don't have any hard evidence for it.
Yeah, why do the police fucking warn people about things that aren't happening? You know?
I mean, propaganda.
Yeah, it is propaganda for sure. But it's like, it seems like the things they say, things they say about it just makes people want to do it more and like draws more attention to it and like also makes a good argument for like regulating it. You know, like it's like, well, if people are dying because they don't know what they're getting, wouldn't it be great if they could know what they were getting?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that would make a big difference.
That would help. That would help a lot.
Like the Crackdown podcast said, just allow people to be in control. Get stuff that is cleaner. Get things that aren't like laced or have different shit in them.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's a story we covered in 2015. For sure we did.
Okay.
And you're going to remember it. An armed shoplifting suspect in Colorado barricaded himself in a stranger's suburban Denver home in June 2015. In an attempt to force the suspect out, law enforcement blew up walls with explosives, fired tear gas, and drove a military-styled armored vehicle through the property's doors. After an hours-long siege, the home was left with shredded walls and blown-out windows. In some parts of the interior, the wood framing was exposed amid a mountain of debris. So, I remember this story. A shoplifter at Walmart or something ran when they tried to confront him, and he got away, and he went into a house, and the police couldn't just say, like, well, Walmart got shoplifted from, and just let it go. Or stand outside the house because he'd have to leave at some point.
Yeah,
You know,
eventually.
like you can't just stay in a house forever.
Right.
Okay. Instead of doing that, like any normal person would, they completely destroyed the house. Like completely, they took the house apart. Like,
Right.
like, in what world is that the reasonable action to take? Why? I can't imagine thinking of doing that. That's one of those police things where they're just so hopped up on crime. They're so like excited to stop crime
To punish.
because their jobs are fucking largely boring. You know, like it's like they don't have to be doing anything really. A lot of what they're doing doesn't have to be done. Like writing speeding tickets doesn't have to get done. You know, it's fine. People speed. That's just the way things are. If nobody's hitting anybody else, then who cares? So police get this thing in their mind when a crime happens that is a real crime that can be considered like shoplifting. A normal person can look at that and be like, I get why that's crime.
Right.
Okay? Like, I get. But I have a thing now, actually. I'm gonna stop this real quick about shoplifting. I think that the stores should just say, fuck it, we don't care about shoplifting anymore. And not do it out loud.
Okay.
Sit down at a board meeting and say, fuck it, we just don't even care anymore. And I'll bet you they would like have the same exact amount of shoplifting and they would still be making tons of money because they fired everybody in the play. I mean, like, it seems like a calculated decision to make to just be like, fuck it, let's not like even care about, let's not even fucking care about it anymore because people aren't ever gonna just take things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, if you know, people take things because they have to. People don't do it because it's like a fun, interesting life to have. You know,
Yeah, shoplifting sucks, really.
Yeah.
You know, it's just because they want stuff.
We
Of
need.
it's, most of it's fucking food.
Right.
And like baby shit, you know? Like that's what gets stolen out of grocery stores most of the time. It's not like people are going in there and being like, oh man, I really need some Doritos. I'm going to stick a bag down my pants.
Right.
You know? There aren't a lot of steak thieves. Really? I mean, there's a relatively
Those are big money
small
items.
amount of Jake is a steak thief, but I'm saying that like there's a small amount of people who are gonna go in and put steaks down their pants no matter what.
Right.
Like, no matter what enforcement you make, unless you make it a fucking prison where you can take their pants off on the way, where everybody has to take their pants and their shirt off on the way out the door, people are gonna steal steak.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. And I just feel like it's time to just say, fuck it, shoplifting. It's like what people do. And you know what? There's 8 people working in like a supermarket at this point now that they've made it all basically automated, you know?
Well, it's very similar to what we've been seeing in New York City with their subway situation, where they've decided that fare beating is the biggest problem in the city, and they're now hiring dozens of police officers and paying them incredible amounts of money and giving into their pensions and paying for their health care. And they're firing $80 taser rounds into people that basically took $2.50.
Yeah.
You know,
and
like
had to get somewhere. It's just I had to get somewhere. Who cares?
Right.
Who fucking cares?
So instead of just realizing that everyone that has $2.50 is going to pay, they've decided to spend fucking millions of dollars on a crew of people to beat folks up.
They had a Democratic mayor. It's like I thought that guy was like a red communist guy from what I've heard about him. I guess he's not, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I guess he's like really disliked in New York. So that's probably like they don't like him.
I mean, it's I don't know. It's a very challenging place, and we are not allowed to talk about income inequality, right? I mean, that's unpopular. That's why we've made a lot of inroads. That's why our whole scene has flourished, is that we are talking about these things, and if they can't reconcile, you know, why someone is in that situation, so they just have to say we'll punish it out of
We'll
existence.
just shoot them with a taser.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
If a bunch of people get shot with tasers, they'll start walking.
Yeah, yes. After an hour, so we talk about this guy's house getting destroyed, right? A federal appeals court in Denver ruled this week that the homeowner, who had no connection to the suspect, isn't entitled to be compensated because the police were acting to preserve the safety of the public. Which is, I mean, every word of that sentence is bullshit crap.
You could have just had the cops could have just paid for it and taken the time off, and it would have cost less money.
I'll bet you
Right? They could have gave him $100. They could have just said, fuck, we'll, you know, out of the community fund, we're going to recuperate your loss, and then we don't have to burn a fucking house down?
Yeah. And you know what? Here's the fucking thing, dude. If you burn a guy's house down, I don't give a fuck who you are. You should have to pay to put his house back together.
You have to.
I just feel like anybody who blows a guy's house up, the polite thing to do, the right thing to do, is give him a bunch of money to put his house back together.
Yeah, I mean, that's some biblical eye for an eye shit, right?
Yeah. No, it's fair. I mean, I think eye for an eye has like a negative connotation in a way.
Uh-huh.
But I'm just saying, like, if you fucking drive a dump truck into a guy's house and then blow up all the walls, then like, and he doesn't have any connection to the reason you're doing it, then you have to buy this guy a new house. You owe this guy $150,000. I think that's basically where I'm putting it.
Yeah, they're
$150,000.
Where are they at?
I don't know how much a house is.
What
anymore.
what city are they in?
I don't know how much any houses.
Where's
are.
this?
Oh, Denver.
Oh yeah, there's no $150,000 houses in Denver, not at all.
Okay, $250,000.
Yeah, maybe
a
for
house.
like a trap house or something.
How much is a house there?
I mean,
Shit.
I don't know. Denver is out fucking rageous. I couldn't imagine buying a house there.
Oh, okay, yeah. A federal.
I mean,
appeals
250
court-
is about how much it costs in Columbus to live,
Okay.
to get a house in the city.
God, his house is so fucked up, dude. I'm looking at the picture. It's so fucked. Every wall on the outside is destroyed, and you can see into every room in the back. Like, it's like they fucking dumbass cops were outside poking holes in the house until they found the guy.
Can you imagine calling your insurance company too, and when they say like, "Oh, you don't have like cop destruction insurance, you have like flood insurance, you have tree insurance, you have the Cadillac of insurance, but we don't offer cop devastation insurance."
Oh, of course. Under no circumstances in this country should the government be able to blow up your house and render a family homeless, Leo Lech, the house's owner, told NPR.
I don't think everyone agrees on that.
I don't either.
There's so many people that are like, your house should be blown up.
I think a lot of cops and lawyer types are like kind of like prosecutor types, you know?
Well, also the onlookers, man. They're just like, do the crime, pay the time,
He
right?
didn't do the crime though. He didn't do anything.
No.
He wasn't even there.
I mean, you take $100 from Walmart, they paid $13 for it, right? Like that's how much inventory they're losing on that shit. They've got it marked up 3 times.
Yeah. Lawyers for Lech argued that the police's destruction of his home was a violation of the Constitution's takings clause, which says private property cannot be taken for public use without just compensation. But the problem with that argument, the appeals court ruled, is that courts have long held that police cannot be on the hook for property damage caused in the process of trying to make an arrest. Like, I don't even think they're asking the specific cops that did it. Like, they're making the court is making it sound like this guy is going to, like, the specific cop that drove the tank into his house and knocking on his door and trying to take the money out of his bank account.
Right.
You know?
Like, no, you did that.
And we're talking about the fucking government.
Right. You gave me the uniform and the badge. You gave me the license to do this shit, you know?
You told me to do it. I thought when a shoplifter... God, I wish I knew what he was shoplifting.
I mean, yeah, you just are in the Punisher minds. I mean, it's Punishers. That's why they're Punishers. This is really the distillation of what it is that they are looking away from everything else and deciding to be Punishers. You know,
this is the Punisher, but with a little bit of a Marvel movie brain.
Okay,
a little bit because like
Punisher is Marvel.
Right. I'm talking about like the movies where it's like,
okay,
like the heroes roll into a city or whatever and just destroy
clean
it,
up the
fighting
scumbags.
bad guys,
Yeah.
you know? And like this is exactly the same thing where it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's a casualty of war. Sometimes you gotta fucking knock a guy's house down. You know?
Right.
We're in a war on crime here. Okay? There's
Yeah.
much crime happening. We gotta stop all this crime.
Yeah, Walmart's hurting from all that shoplifting.
Again. No, just the smartest business move is to just quietly say, we ain't gonna have to.
Yeah, I mean, you
we
could
don't care.
save money on an asset protection salary, right? I mean, that's savings in the bank. Fire the assets protections person, and you got like $40,000 back in the bank. There's no way that much is getting stolen each year.
Right. Like, I feel like they'll make arguments about like this huge amount of money because of the way people use self-scan. But the truth is, we're not trained cashiers.
Yeah.
Like, we're not fucking trained. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. Like, you're making me do the job of somebody that you used to make come in and do 8 hours of training for.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'll tell you about the way that I do business is that I always go for worst case scenario. So like whenever we're planning the tour and stuff, I want to make sure we don't lose money on it, at least break even. So like that's what I'm shooting for, breaking even. I'm shooting for 0 profit made. when these people are doing their budgets, when they're doing their paperwork and all of that stuff, there's a term, we all know it. It's called shrink. If you've done anything,
I know
you know what
shrink.
shrink is. They have that in their budgets. They know how much they're going to lose. They're paying people basically to get a little bit back, but they already knew they were going to lose a bunch.
Yeah.
It's built in. They're not hurting at all.
No.
Walmart isn't hurting.
I know. I mean, they had to have made a calculated decision that, like, the self-scan checkout aisles and shit are going to be things that people are gonna lose money on, right? Like, they had to have known that, like,
But they're not, because they don't have to pay somebody anymore. Like, we're
Exactly.
working for free for them.
I know, it drives me fucking crazy, because everything should be cheaper,
It should.
but it's more expensive.
Instead, they just make all the products smaller, and you get a half a box of cereal.
Oh, let me start yelling right now about 8-packs. I am so
8-packs are
hot
in.
under the
8-packs
collar
are
about
in.
8-packs. Yeah.
I went to go buy some generic ass seltzer water, and they had 8-packs there.
Oh my god. Nothing makes me more mad than an 8-pack. Like, I can't.
There's not
fucking
even a name
breathe.
for that. There's a dozen, right? But what's an 8?
It's like fucking you deserve less
Yeah.
in this world, because it costs the same as a 12.
Right.
Every time you go in there, it costs exactly what a 12-pack would cost if they had 12 packs, but they all have 8-packs. And it's like, you sell so much fucking pop, dude. Like, you have so much of that stuff stocked. Don't say it's shelf space, because people are buying a lot less of that stuff, you know? There aren't a lot of people going in and buying 3 cubes of Mountain Dew anymore. It just doesn't happen.
Right.
That's not the way things work these days, you know? People drink seltzer water, so don't say it's like a space issue. You're just fucking ripping us off. And you know that people probably who drink seltzer water have a little bit more money, so they're going to be willing to just take the fucking hit, you know? Because I'd imagine that the demographics on something like that, or that, like, a lot... I mean, when I was really broke, I would be like, I ain't paying for fucking water. You
Yeah.
know? I'm going to buy fucking 24 cases of water.
My motherfucking stomach is touching my spine right now. I need calories.
Yeah. And it was just like the 8-pack at the Giant Eagle, they have 12-packs, but the 12-packs are minis. And it's like, who wants a mini of seltzer water?
Minis, like
8
ounces?
ounces of seltzer water. It's like, who wants that? We want as much as you'll give us. Actually, we would probably take Tall Boys.
Tall Boys, yeah.
If you had them. We like water.
Yeah.
You know?
This is great for folks that are like watching their waistline. I don't want to drink sugar all day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Give me a fucking double deuce.
I can't believe the police don't owe this guy. This is ridiculous. The suspect in the case, who was wanted in connection with shoplifting, was taken into custody after a 19-hour standoff. More than 100 officers from agency around the Denver area responded to the incident. Authorities say the suspect stole 2 belts and a shirt from a Walmart.
No! I was thinking electronics.
I did too.
I thought motherfucker ran out. I thought he just ran out with a TV. Wait,
Yeah.
what was it? Say it one more time for the people in the back.
He stole 2 belts and a shirt from a Walmart.
Literally $3 worth of stuff.
To them, but
Yeah.
if they had sold that stuff, it was $18 worth of
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, their t-shirts are $6 to $10. The
Yeah.
belt is probably another $10. $30 at the most is what this fucking guy stole, and they burned down his whole house.
A guy? No. They
Somebody
burned
else's
another
house.
guy's whole
Right.
house
This
down.
this is the person that they went to someone they were Did they try to hide in the house? Is that
No. They just went into a like they were running from the cops and they broke into a house.
Got
because
it.
they wanted to hide from
Right.
the cops, but the cops saw him break into the house.
Okay.
And then
Got
they
it.
started a whole standoff. They say he was shooting at them too, but
They never find the gun.
yeah. Yeah. It doesn't. I don't think it says that they found the gun. And yeah. Oh, wild, man. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about the gun actually being there, and they were probably fucking lying. You know, they always say that they were getting shot at or about to get shot. you
No,
know?
that's what because that gets them immunity from
Yeah.
anything.
And they just, the thing is, like, you can't punish every crime like it's exactly the same. And a guy stealing 2 belts, a shirt, and a pair of pants is, like, definitely, like, should just have a place to go to get those things for free.
That's one of the I mean, you know, my version of a just world would just be going to somebody and being like, well, you just need fucking shirts and belts, like well, we can get you that, you know,
But
like
I mean,
there's
you
a
should be
there's
able to even just walk it like in a just world. You could walk into fucking Walmart and be like, I need a shirt and some belts. I don't got enough money, and they'd
Right.
be like, just take them.
Right.
You know, who gives a shit?
right.
But they can't do that. They can't give you anything free. Like people always think like I think a lot of people who yell at customer service have this misguided thing in their mind that they can just hand you stuff for free, which they can never give you
Right.
anything for free. Nothing that is like beyond the power of anybody that's in the store. Nobody that is in the whole store can give you anything for free. That's why it's just pointless to yell at them.
Right.
You know, like it's just like conserve your energy, just cool out, man, because they ain't giving you nothing for free.
Right.
At a fast food restaurant, they might give you some stuff for free because the stuff is worthless.
Right.
But at a store,
They have to
yeah.
do inventory and all that. They have to write down what happened, and there's someone above them that's like, you can't give that for free.
Yeah, but you should be able to like. Somebody was telling me because I was complaining about CVS online
Yeah.
the other day because it's a fucking bullshit place. I've been thinking about this since I was a cable guy. When I went into a CVS in Gahanna, Ohio, and I said, "Hey, can I use the bathroom?" And they said, "No, we don't have a bathroom." I was like, "Well, you got a bathroom."
Yeah.
It's like in my mind, I thought that, but I just left and went to a gas station or whatever. But it's just like CVS. You're too big
Yeah.
to not have a bathroom.
Yeah.
You gotta have a fucking bathroom.
Part of the cost of doing business.
Yeah, you gotta let people drop a pee or doo-doo in there. Like, it's not fair that you're not letting people do that.
There isn't a system that provides it otherwise, so it's on you. It's on you.
Why aren't there, like, actual public... Why can't we have public bathrooms? Like, why doesn't that exist? Anywhere in the world.
Because we are trying to train people to have enough money to be able to buy something from a store and earn the right to a bathroom. Like, we only want to provide those type of services to people that are meeting the criteria of a successful citizen, right?
I mean, I'm a
that's
citizen.
part of the punishment of not having money is you don't get to use the fucking bathroom because you can't buy something.
It's so weird because I want to even use the fucking bathroom without buying something.
Yeah.
Give me a bathroom, you know? I want to use that fucking bathroom.
I mean, you know, let me stop by and take a piss. I'm not going to buy something today, but I'm going to remember. I'm like, hey, CVS, you know, took my fucking waste.
Dude, I've been thinking about this since like 2006. Like, this has been something that's bothered me, and I had to pee real bad yesterday, and I was in a CVS. I bought $20 worth of stuff, and no bathroom.
Right.
And then people were telling me, if you go in there and you tell them you got to really go to the bathroom to let you go, and it's like, oh, come on. Like, it was this begging thing? No. I'm allowing you to operate in this city. You're going to let me go to the bathroom. You know, I want to poop and pee in your bathroom.
I
I just wanted to pee too. That's not even like a big deal. That's nothing.
Yeah, I think it was maybe it was a social media thing, but when we were in Austin, Texas, for ACL, beforehand, me and my wife and daughter went to a McDonald's, and they had on the bathrooms something I've never seen in my life. It was a coin system. So what was expected of like the employees where you would ask to use the restroom, they would make sure that you were a customer, and they would give you a coin for the restroom that you went and put in there. Like one of those fucking, you know, the egg machines that have like the sticky hands, have like the homies figures, have
Temporary you had to pay
touch.
the money to get in it, or did they give it back at the end?
Well, here's the funny thing about it is that like I saw this like elaborate coin system that was sitting on this bathroom door. And I also noticed, I don't want to implicate the employees because I don't want to get them in trouble, but somebody took a bunch of official McDonald's stickers and like put them over the door jamb to the point where you didn't need the coins anymore. You could openly use it. The little fucking thing that sticks out to lock the door, they just put like, it was basically the sticker said like, thank you for visiting McDonald's. We appreciate your patronage, right?
Yeah.
So these were the thank you stickers that are behind the counter. This wasn't the customers like hacking the system. I think the employees were just like, we need to keep that fucking bathroom open because too many people are asking, you know?
Yeah, we should do this as like just a thing for pictures and shit. Like, the McDonald's on campus has just a million fucking signs. Like, just signs everywhere. There's signs. And it's like blocking up the scenery, and it's breaking my mind. And they're all like, do this, don't do that. And I can read all those fucking signs, you know? But like, there's just fucking signs on a bathroom. It's like, if you can't use a bathroom unless like you buy something, and water doesn't count, and like you can't, you don't fucking sit down here. There's a sign on campus at the Noodles and Company that says you're not allowed to sit on their patio if you have a cheeseburger.
What? Where? What? Wait, say that again.
Okay. So
Bring that back.
at Noodles and Company on campus, they have a sign outside that says there's no smoking and no burgers on their patio because they don't sell burgers.
Right,
they
right.
just sell noodles. And it's like, fuck you, Noodles and Company. You know, what if my wife's making me eat some shitty ass Noodles and Company, and I want to run down and get a
Yeah, I'm gonna get a burger.
Yeah. My wife wants it. I don't fucking want it. Let me bring a cheeseburger in this Noodles and Company. Well, how is that a fucking problem? I know it's weird. I've always felt that was weird. People who bring food from one place into another place. But I also feel like you should be allowed to do it. It's just like kind of like, you should be allowed to do it, but you should also be considered a weirdo for doing
This
it.
is, I mean, it's
It's a manners thing.
paperwork is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, everybody that's there is just doing their job, and somebody is sitting on the patio eating a fucking cheeseburger, and it's not bothering anyone. But now corporate has created a situation, and they're like, well, we're supposed to do something about it now. Like, now it's a problem. I don't know how, but it is. Like, because we've been told it's a problem, and if we don't treat it like a problem, we'll get fucking fired.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like for me, it's always been that if you take food from one restaurant into another restaurant, like every single person in a restaurant should be able to look at you like you're a fucking weirdo because it's a weirdo thing to do.
Sure.
But
It's a bold move.
Yeah, but it's like public space. I don't feel like restaurants are private space. I don't think that you get to decide that you're just a private area where you have all the rules when you're operating a public business. You know, like McDonald's is like technically a public gathering place. Like, people go there, they want you to come there, and they want you to be there. And I don't really get the idea with them of like making it seem like a dystopia there by putting signs everywhere. You know, there's just, you know, one of the things says you're only allowed to be in a dining room for 30 minutes. And then one of the things says you're only allowed to do this. One of the things says this. One of them, you know, it's like, fuck, man. You get no sitting on a patio if you don't have food. It's like, fuck, dudes. This place sucks. This is like the worst case scenario for a building that I would find myself in. Like, the places I like to go, I've said this a few times, I think, on the show. I like places where the employees don't have to wear uniforms, where they're all getting paid well, and they're all happy. Like, that's like the kind of place that I like to frequent, you know? I hate places where they put them in a fucking one of those scratchy, terrible shirts.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, God, fucking fuck those people.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's mostly an attack on the homeless. You know, I mean, if you're a lily white college kid going in there, you can definitely eat for more than a half hour. It's just a way to kick people out that they don't want out there. You know, or
Yeah.
to targeted harassment.
Yeah. But I think, like, even people who wouldn't be kicked, because I'm a guy that probably wouldn't be kicked out of a place like that.
No.
They would let me sit there all fucking day if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But it's disconcerting to see that they're I mean, like, they would let me sit there for 2 hours, and then they would kick guys out for being in there for a half an hour.
Yeah.
That would, like, bother even, like, a person with a hardened heart, you know? Like, not like me, like a snowflake like me, but, like, because I get, you know, I'd be like, let him stay. I'll buy him a cheeseburger. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I'm that kind of guy. But, like,
It was pretty sick when we were in Dallas. When I went to Denny's, there was a person that I don't think had a home, but they let them hang out in the bench.
yeah.
And the person in front of me that was paying was like, I'm not going to finish this to-go food, and can I give it to that guy? And they were like, oh, yeah, he's fucking hungry. He wants food.
Yeah.
And like, he ate a fucking cheeseburger in the lounge, and I'm for sure that if Denny's corporate came in there, they would not want that fucking thing going down. You know?
Yeah,
Like, that's
no.
not what they want. Like,
Yeah.
It's like as more situations get dire, they're going to start putting more rules down. They're going to start regulating this stuff, and they're going to try. It goes back to the landlord thing. If you're a good person and you follow all the rules, you'll be rewarded. And everybody that doesn't deserves their fate because they did the wrong thing. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Here's one. I want to do one last thing on the show because I saw it. Chris Caesar, he's a friend of Street Fight, sweet guy at Chris Caesar on
love
Twitter. Posted a thing for some kid named Cody or a guy. I don't want to say kid. On Facebook, posted the boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I poop on company time.
Right.
He posted this meme, which is a meme that everybody posts.
Yeah, I've seen it before.
And, okay, here you go. This is the text he got from his boss from a meme he posted on Facebook that, like, has been shared. Like, more people have read that than the Bible at this point.
Yeah. It's Elmo.
It's Elmo.
It's an Elmo meme.
It's sitting on, like, a potty, and it just says, boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I poop on company time, which is, I mean, first of all, people are going to poop on company time.
Always.
People got to poop. Like, whenever poop is going to come out of your ass, like, that's just going to happen.
Yeah,
you know?
and we don't poop enough in this. People are too blocked up. Like, you
Oh,
should
I
be
know.
doing it a couple times a day, and folks are like, every other day and
Yeah,
shit.
like holding on to it.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little too long. I've been guilty of that. I don't like going a whole day, but it happens.
I'm like a puppy dog. I eat a meal and then I go.
I don't know why it doesn't come out, man. Mine's just like I'll just stick around in there for a while.
Fiber,
poison you.
greens, some psyllium husk maybe work for you.
Okay. We don't make
I'm gonna
$1 when
prescribe
you're,
that.
So here's the boss. We don't make $1 when you're shitting all the time. Why don't you stay home and do your shitting? I don't like to play your bullshit games. Maybe there's a company out there that would put up with your games because I won't. Good luck.
So they got fired for
So
sharing a
dude
meme.
goes, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Look on your Facebook page. Do you think things don't get around?" And he's like, "Because I shared a funny meme on a Sunday when I'm not at work." And the guy's like, "You brought work into a Sunday." He fires this guy. What a wild fucking Can you? He's mad at the post, which
Yeah.
is crazy to me.
Because he's not being respected. Like this is a small business tyrant. This is their essence.
This is
that
the most.
they expect to be respected because they got to where they're at from being such a great member of society to own a business, right?
Goddamn kid is coming into work and taking a shit. He just takes a shit on purpose, and it makes me lose money, and it makes me fucking sick. And then you know what he does? He posts a meme. He
brags about it.
What a this son of a fucking motherfucker posts a fucking meme. I hate him. He's fired.
Bullshit. You can't
Bullshit.
shit on the clock. There's nothing in our handbook about shitting on the clock.
Everybody that looks at your Facebook page knows you work for me. And now they're going to
Yeah.
think that you can just shit
Yep.
anytime you want. And that's not acceptable to me.
Yeah, I'm in charge of you. You
Yeah.
don't even realize that, but I have to be accountable for you.
Everybody knows, Cody, that you work for
What's-
Roman Stonework.
Is that what it is?
Okay?
Roman Stonework?
Andy Faranick, the boss who posted this, you work for Roman Stoneworks at romanstoneworks.com/contact.html. You work for this place. You work for this fucking business, and people are going to think that I just let people shit. And then every person I hire is going to take craps while I'm at work. And I don't while they're at work, and I don't like it.
What are my clients supposed to think?
Yeah.
What about our future clients that may see this meme? Like they're going to be very concerned that you might have to defecate instead of do your job.
Well, he's got a point there in a way because, like, I would fire somebody that had to poop because I think poop is gross. No, I'm kidding. That's a joke. I'm fucking around. But that's like in the boss's mind. He's like, this guy's taking craps, man. I don't know if we can keep him on.
We
really.
got the Pink Floyd going right now. We got the Echo.
All right.
Hello.
Well, I think we've done enough.
Is
We've
there
done a show.
anybody out there?
Fucking echo, man.
Just knock if you can hear me. I don't hear it on here. We're not hearing it. Saucy Peaky.
Well, Saucy Peaky's here, and
Maybe they're like a psyop or
and
something.
we've done an hour, I think, in 15.
We had
so-
we had a new person in here that wanted to know. I mean, I know who would win this, but they wanted to know. I don't know why they asked this question, but they're a new person, they're a new listener, and they wanted to know who would win in a sausage sandwich eating contest between the two of us.
I mean, I would win any eating contest between two. Breast doesn't eat meat, but I would eat enough meat for 2 people.
Yeah.
And then just like give Brett credit for half of it, and then I would win.
The problem is that I would eat all day leading up to it. Brian eats at one time like a snake, and he gets a giant lump in his throat that travels down to his colon, and then he gets rid of it. Not at McDonald's or anything. But yeah, Brian is the winner of all sausage sandwich competitions.
I'm a sausage sandwich guy, man. That's just I love those
pickles.
things.
Beyonds are good, but I'm too stuffed all day long. I'm doing calorie maintenance here.
Brett's on a diet, okay? I'm not. I should be, but I'm not.
Have we really done the show that long?
Yeah, we're
God,
good.
it's so fucking
We did the
late.
show, man.
Well, thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for showing up to the live stream. Thank you to everybody that gave us a shot, and are checking us out for the first time. You can always find the live stream. You can always find the live stream on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. If you want more bonus content from us, then you can go to patreon.com/StreetFightRadio, where you can get access to our digital zines. You can get access to our bonus videos. You can get the Shocktober bonus mini-series. The Howard Stern episode came out earlier this week, and on Monday, the wrap-up show is happening. After that, we are doing Teen Fight Radio, which will be me, Brian, and Gwen doing a show about teenage life in this day and age and the goings on from that. Thank you to Zerg Troll and Saucy Pickle. Y'all are the new folks that came
Thanks,
from
Saucy Pickle.
the Means TV, the Means TV stream. They came over. That's going to be a much bigger thing going into 2020. Please check out Means TV and what they're doing. I do have a kind of a big part in that and helping shape what happens there. So any support you can direct to Means TV would be appreciated. Nick and Naomi are absolutely brilliant. But we will keep on fighting the good fight. On this Sunday, there's going to be a call-in street fight starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be taking your calls, concerns, dare stories, military recruitment, whatever it may be. We do appreciate all the time and energy you've put into making sure we can keep this thing rolling. And come see us on the West Coast. We're going to be partying all the way down. I can't wait to see you all again. We were there earlier in January, and you gave us such a good time that we want to come back. And so Seattle, Portland, Oakland, Los Angeles, and San Diego. If you head to streetfightradio.com, on the very front page, on the left-hand side is going to be the newest podcast. On the right-hand side will be the newest news in regards to our live show. So just click on that Left Coast November link, and you will get access to the tickets, Facebook events, whatever it may be, and help spread the word. I don't want to pay for ads, but if you could tell people that we're coming to your town, I would greatly appreciate it. We will see you on Sunday. Like I said, I've got a bonus content show coming with Kenzo Shibata. I think there's going to be the first episode of Small Business Tyrants this Friday on the $1 Patreon feed. So we're really blowing it out as far as content goes, and we're only going up from here. Eventually, we will collapse the entire government across every corner of the flat earth and create something more equitable for all working people. Right now, it's just an entertainment show, though. So enjoy the laughs, enjoy the good time. We're Street Fight Radio. We'll see ya. Peace. Zerg Troll.
144. That's not bad.
Really? That's a long show.